What's good with the YouTube? Y'all already know. Big Flacco with the Convicts Reaction. We're gonna smash, dash, and react. Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, do all those things to help support this channel. And hit that bell notification for future viral reactions. Well, you know what? I've been watching a lot of stuff that's been going on social media, like a lot recently, right? And it's really been going on for like the last few years. Clout chasers, people who clout chase, right? And I think that people don't realize the seriousness that can come from clout chasing. How it can go from basically fucking a calm environment to putting your life in jeopardy or family in jeopardy. People really need to think the things that they say, and is it really worth it at times, the people that they speak on. If you're okay with whatever consequences or repercussions come for your actions, then by all means do what you do. But always remember, you never know what the next man may do, or woman, or how they may react to a situation that you speak on. It seems like the most easiest way for a new content creator to get those views or to get that kickstart is just basically speak on somebody. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But at the end of the day, right, when you're speaking on someone, right, and you're giving off a reaction, it depends how you do it. Are you basically clout chasing just to get those views by utilizing their name? Or are you really addressing something that you feel that you need to react to? See, there's a difference. I can give you guys several examples. Savage Studios. I was the last one to interview him. He was killed a couple days later. Little Red Indian boy. He was killed live on his IG talking shit. And I noticed it's really been heating up lately. You know, and it doesn't just have to do with it. It also has to do with all these different groups. You know, the blacks have their own thing going on with like Whack 100, 600, and always something going on around that, right? You got Adam 22 who sticks his nose in a lot of different people's business, right? You got the some of the southern rappers and podcasters who like to disrespect the North constantly, as a whole, not just individuals. They're disrespecting the group as a whole. And sometimes you see these people who do it, right? Calling someone out, going a little bit, you know, too far as the level of showing respect or disrespect, and you don't know what that individual is capable of doing, or it could be that person you don't know. Look at Savage Studios. He got caught slipping. Okay, that's life though. If you're okay with putting your life in potential danger and just not caring about it, then so be it. See, there's a difference between disrespecting someone and speaking the truth. Speaking the truth, man, is not disrespect if it's true. Okay? Always remember that. But at the same token, you got to ask yourself, am I going too far? You know, some people do go too far on that. You know, they start to venture into people's personal lives, their families, their relationships and whatnot. That right there, a motherfucker will kill over half the time. And people don't always realize that. Now, a perfect example would be the Chicago drill rap scene. These dudes talk in their videos about fucking murking each other. They go on podcasts talking shit. And a lot of these dudes have ended up being killed or catching cases. That right there is a prime example of how far clout chasing can go. And sometimes right now, people are kind of new to it now as far as on YouTube. And they don't realize that, hey man, the person you may be speaking on, or the things that you may be doing, there could be some fucking consequences later on in life that you don't realize that shows up on your doorstep. Or you could be out with your family at a random spot, and something that you said or done may come back to haunt you. And there's some people that ain't going to care if you're with your family or not. They're just going to be about that action. There's a lot of treacherous people in this world. And it's always those that you don't know that you always got to worry about. People at times will think that they're invincible, that they can't be touched, that they could just speak on anything. And then you have others who self-proclaim that they're about this, they're about that, they're real ones. If you have to self-proclaim yourself as being that, man, you always let other people give you that title. You don't just speak on that you're this and that, because you know what? A lot of times all that is words. And actions will unveil the truth behind one's words. Every time. And the truth of it is this. You're safe until you're not safe. I repeat, you're safe until you're not safe. So thinking that, oh, this ain't going to happen to me, I could just speak on whatever, this and that. Hey, you always got to have that foresight that anything could potentially show up on your doorstep or put you and your family in harm's way. That's the truth. I'm going to use this as a prime example. You've had rappers like Lefty Gunplay, right? Bozo, and just a few others, right? Who have said, fuck the other side, fuck the North Day, fuck them dudes, okay? Right there, you just generalized a whole group of men, right? That populate in like the 20s and 30s of thousands at least, right? Now, who's to say that one of those individuals does not take that too personal and go too far with it? And you're not going to even see it coming. You know, there's a difference between calling out a particular individual, okay? But when you start to call out a whole collective, you don't know who's going to come with that smoke. Because there's a lot of people that will bring that smoke. Charleston White's another one. He has disrespected Raza Mexicans as a whole. I repeat, he has disrespected Mexican Raza as a whole. Someone eventually is going to get tired of it, man. Wrong place, wrong time for him. Hey, shit's going to happen. That's why I've always critiqued individuals on an individual level. And I try not to be disrespectful, okay? But it doesn't mean that I'm going to sit there and, you know, be one's punching bag or doormat if they're talking their shit. I'm going to call it like it is. And so that's the important thing about being on YouTube is people will just fucking clout chase and say anything just to get the views. They'll lie, they won't cross-check, and they'll just push that line hard. I'm talking about when they assassinate individuals' characters. Now, there's been certain YouTubers that have spoken on every single individual in this way and that way, speaking bad, calling them out. And some of these individuals, man, on their best day would not see half these individuals that they're talking about. You're only protected so far until you get outside your house. It's easy to talk bad about someone when you're in your basement or you're in your fucking living room or you're in a city thousands of miles away, and you could just sit there and go a little too far in disrespecting some individuals for your clout. Like I said, there's a difference between disrespect and critiquing. Big difference. That's why, like for instance with me, whether they're active or inactive, from up north or down south, if I critique someone, it's usually going to be just to that individual. I'm not going to generalize it as a whole. You know, you can't sit there and run your mouth about things, right? And then when something happens, say, oh, I don't know why it happened, man, this and that. Well, you're running your fucking mouth about this person and that person. You ran your mouth about this group. You don't think someone's not going to get a hair in their ass, and whenever they catch you somewhere, they're not going to want to deal with it? You got to use your head when it comes to speaking on certain things. And it's certain things worth the clout. And like I said before, nothing happens until it happens. Once again, nothing happens till it happens. So if you're okay, you know, with the content you're doing, what you speak upon, then so be it, man. You're not tripping. That's who you are. That's what you're about. But there are those who think that they can speak freely just for clout. And when someone shows up on their door, right, or they have someone that's going to really catch them in a way that they are slipping, you only have yourself to blame for that, you know? Some of the stuff I've done, I've critiqued certain people that probably took it a little too personal. And so I stand behind that. If that means whatever happens later on when I'm somewhere and they feel a certain way, so be it. But at least I try to be smart enough not to insult anybody as a whole, as far as a group or anything like that. Because that's taking a little bit too far at times, and you got to be ready for what could come of that. Otherwise, it's kind of look like you're speaking bad about people that you may not see, or a group that you may not see, and you think that you're never going to get touched, but shit. Eventually, we all got to pay the piper. Now, I'm not telling anybody they shouldn't clout chase. That's their own decision. Just know what type of consequences could come of it. Because I'm pretty sure some of the individuals that have been killed recently didn't think they were going to get killed just speaking the way they were speaking. And don't ever judge a book by its cover. Because that will sometimes give you a false sense of security, thinking that, oh, they're not going to act, they're this, they're that, when it could be the total opposite, man. You may touch on things that go a little too far. And I've seen people on YouTube do that. They've gone too far. They've disrespected people's families. They've done other things that, man, if an individual catches certain people for the things that they say, I would expect some fucking fireworks, just put it that way. And we all think it's fun and games watching as a spectator, right? Until something serious happens just based upon other people's actions. And the biggest mistake people make is, oh, I don't know why they're tripping. I don't know why, this and that. Because you as an individual don't know what's going on in that person's life or how they feel or how they react. You got to be cautious of that. I just have this feeling, right, that with some of the loose talking of disrespect I've seen, that in California, and the urban lifestyle, the hip hop lifestyle, the lifestyle, the black lifestyle, I see something really potentially bad happening. Because you can only talk smack for so long, like everybody has, until something big happens. Therefore, I think something maybe eventually is going to happen. There's been a lot of shit talking, been a lot of clout chasing, a lot of disrespect, and so that's only going to go on for so long till someone finally takes action. Do I wish for any of that to happen? No, I don't. But I'm only being a realist. And just all you gotta do is just see how it's just elevated on a level higher than it was previously. That it's only gonna go so far till something eventually happens. And that's just my reaction to all the clout chasing and whatnot. Now, like I said before, my personal opinion is there's a difference between critiquing and speaking facts and clout chasing. A lot of times clout chasing is when people take unnecessary shots, unnecessary disrespect and whatnot. But even in critiquing, we gotta remember some of these individuals are not like these other platforms. You got dudes that are ex-gang members, active gang members. You got dudes that done a lot of time. So how they react to you speaking on them, you can't control. You don't know what to expect. You never know what's going on in the next motherfucker's mind, what they're thinking, what they're plotting, and what they're preparing for. In the long run, this is what I think we're going to see. The ones that were speaking like they're with it, representing themselves, they're real ones. In due time, I think that they're going to be exposed as dudes that just clout chase and ain't with it. It's going to be those that are quiet, they're in the cuts. They're going to probably prove and validate dudes that are actually with the shit. Anyways, it's just my reaction real quick, man. Just something that I've just seen and felt I would, talk on. And it's not directed towards any, channel out there, because all of us, to a certain extent, will clout chase from time to time or critique someone, and some will call that clout chasing. So it is what it is, man. Just understand that every action has a reaction, and you never know what that reaction may be. Be ready to accept what that is. That said, I'm gone.